Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at Tech Travel Geeks. The UMIDIGI G5A smartphone is here. We've already unboxed it, and if you haven't already seen that video, you can catch up on that on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel. But today we are going to set up this affordable smartphone, which I purchased on Amazon a while back. So, UMIDIGI. This is a very affordable smartphone, as I said, under £100. Let's have a look at setting this up. Now, before I switch it on, I'm going to find that SIM tray, which, as you're looking at the phone from the front, is on the left. We'll take our SIM ejector tool and pop that in the hole. The tray doesn't come out that far, but here we go. And as you can see, this is a tray that takes a nano SIM card, but also does take a micro SD card. Or you can use two SIM cards, but we're going to focus on just putting in my SIM card today, and we'll do a separate video on how to expand the storage of your UMIDIGI G5A using micro SD cards. Now, as the device comes out of the box, you see we have a screen protector with some details about the device, such as its HD Plus resolution display, the 13 megapixel camera, the MediaTek Helio A22 quad-core processor, 5000 mAh battery. But I'm going to take that off because that's going to be needed. We're going to need the screen to set this device up. On the right hand side we have the power button and the volume rocker. I'm going to long press on the power button and wait till that comes on. Now we have UMIDIGI, very simple logo, and the powered by Android logo, which is always good to see. First impressions is, just by the logo and the powered by Android logo, is that it's relatively crisp and quite bright. The contrast ratio is pretty decent. Now we have an UMIDIGI logo. It looked a little stuttery to me, but obviously if you're watching this on video, you can share your impressions in the comment section below. And as usual, if you have any questions about the UMIDIGI G5A, feel free to pop them in the section below. We'll do our best to address those questions in any future videos we do about the device. So let's start off with English. I'm actually going to use English, but in this case United Kingdom, because I'm in the UK. And we can start with the setup. So first things first, as with most smartphone setups, we need to select a Wi-Fi network. Now I'll just be a moment. Okay then, so that's the UMIDIGI G5A now connected to Wi-Fi. Now, unsurprisingly, my experience typing my password there was not the best, but still not bad. The haptic feedback engine, that little vibrator, is a little bit mushy. The responsiveness of the keyboard and the on-screen keyboard was great, no issues there. But it just gave that mushy feeling of a sub-hundreds pound smartphone. Oh, for some reason my Wi-Fi is not connecting. I'll just check on this. Okay then, so I couldn't connect to the internet. I'm now skipping that. We'll just go through the setup without an internet connection, which is possible on the UMIDIGI G5A. Next up, I will need to set up a PIN code. So that's that done. Next up, we're prompted to set up a fingerprint. Now, the fingerprint unlock on devices is really quite interesting, because in this case, the sensor is on the side power button. This is the way I actually prefer it. It's much more tactile. You get to feel where it is on the device without having to look at your screen. This is particularly useful in certain situations where maybe you have your hand in your pocket. But the downside, as you just saw there, is that if you're doing something like setting up your fingerprint unlock on the device and you actually press the button rather than just resting your thumb on it, you essentially are going to be getting the screen off and you need to start again. So just be warned about that. It is something that happens. But once you get into the sort of muscle memory of how to use your phone, this becomes less of an issue. At the moment, I'm just going through pressing, or in this case, tapping the fingerprint sensor in the power button until it has my fingerprint added. So I'll set another one up later. Now it's prompting me to unlock with my face. This is usually something that's less secure than a fingerprint, but still a handy option for accessibility. So we'll go through this quick tutorial on how to do that. It will need access to the camera. Here we go. Okay, so that's that done. So overall, apart from the fact that the device is not connecting to the internet, and we'll need to check out why in a moment, let's check what's happening here. So updates are ready. It's suggesting we connect to a network to perform those. Focus time, etc. Not really interested in that. Now this is Android 13, and as you can see, it's pretty simple. This is an almost Google-like experience. You have your launcher, which doesn't have an app drawer here, but it's a clean, simple layout of icons. You have what is essentially a news feed on the right, but let's go into the settings here and see if I can set this up to actually connect to the internet. So let's check network, internet, and so we have internet 3 UK, mobile network 3 UK. This is actually not a 3 UK SIM card, it's something that operates on a 3 UK network. So we're connected to 4G here. Let's see if we have data as well. So we have mobile data, let's turn roaming on as well. We will do a separate video on how to switch roaming on and off, but you get a quick preview here. It has used 6 megabytes of data, so it seems to be connected to the network. Let's just have a quick look at access point names. This is not the correct access point name, so we're going to probably have to fix that in a moment. So let's just see if we have a real internet connection. It's odd that it's not connecting to my Wi-Fi. I have verified that Wi-Fi in my home is working. A bit of troubleshooting might be needed. Let's try typing in our password again. So now we're connected, apparently. Great. So I'm now going to have to go and complete that setup, which wasn't working because my device wasn't connecting to the internet, through settings. And to do this, I'm going to go to System. We'll just check for updates first. See how long this takes and if there is anything new. Apparently there's no updates, and the last update was on the 5th of July 2023. This is a little bit disappointing because that was, well, 10 months ago almost. So this is not a good sign so far, the fact that it hasn't had a security patch from UMIDIGI in about a year. Well, we got a little notification there suggesting that app updates are ready. Alright, so it's now going back to the setup process to complete the setup. Okay, let's wait till this happens and see what happens. So far, I have to say this has been not a great experience as far as the software setup is. The hardware is really quite good. It's an unapologetically plastic device with plastic edges, plastic back. The screen has a plastic screen protector and is some sort of tempered glass, but at the £99 price point, I would say don't get too excited about Gorilla Glass in this instance. This setup doesn't seem to be happening. Let's just go into accounts and add my account there. Oh, here we go. Let's start our finished G5A setup. Again, it's going to take a few minutes. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not working. Let's see what we can do here with adding our account. Now, overall the experience is not terrible, considering this is a quad-core processor. It has only 4 hamsters under the hood handling things, but for some reason it doesn't seem to find my Google account. Here we go, Google Services and Preferences. Okay, sign into your Google account. Let's tap on that. And we're back at this checking info, setting up your device. It seems to be a bit of a broken experience. This is quite sad. I had high hopes for this. Oh, here we go. Finally, sign in. Okay, so that was, it took a little bit while longer than I was expecting. And I'm going to just validate this sign-in using multi-factor authentication on one of my other devices. And then once that's done, we should be able to get on with the setup here. Yes, we trust in Google. Yes, we're going to turn on our backup, and I agree to the Google Play terms and conditions. I set up around about 20 devices a year, if not more, for review purposes and for personal use. So I know the terms and conditions relatively well, but my advice is always read these before blindly accepting. But if in Google you trust, you're just like the tech travel geeks. So we've done a decent bit here. We've managed to get into our Google account. The hope is that now that we have added our Google account, we'll be able to finish the setup in a bit of a more timely manner. So this is a workaround that I'm having to go through to set up the UMIDIGI G5A. It's not going to copy data over because I want to set this up as a new device. And we've already got the account info because we've logged in using the settings menu rather than the guided setup process for the smartphone. Let's see how long it takes to actually get my Google data here. So it's now syncing 564 contacts onto there. Let's see how long this takes. Ooh, something's happened. We've lost the getting started screen. It's just a spinner. This could mean anything. What does the spinner mean? If you know, let us know in the comments, please. Oh, here we are. We're finally at our search engine ballot box. Choose your search engine. In this case, as I said earlier, in Google we trust. Now this should be the Google Assistant section where we're prompted to set up Assistant. I have done this many times, so it shouldn't need to take a new voice match. And if that's the case, we're done with the Google Assistant one. Yes, I agree to that. I want to use the Google Assistant hands-free. And for those of you who've watched many of our setups in the past, you'll notice that there is inherently more lag in the setup to the smartphone. It is taking its time, probably because it doesn't have the computing power to do much with that quad-core or those 4 hamsters from MediaTek under the hood. I'm not saying that MediaTek make bad processors, but to make this device £100 or less, obviously corners had to be cut, and 4 hamsters obviously went onto the chopping board there. Great, so that was the relatively painful setup experience of the UMIDIGI G5A. It didn't work out as expected. We worked through a workaround to actually get into the device, And then once that had been done, get into our account, and from there move on from there. But first things first, I'm going to go and find what apps are there, and more importantly, what apps need to be updated. So we have quite a few apps here, all the usual Google ones. That's about it. There's no bloatware, nothing I would consider to be undesired on the smartphone, and that's a good thing. Let's see what other notifications we have, because there is one here saying that now that we're signed into our Google account, there is a system update available. So this is released on the 5th of March 2024. So I'm going to download it and install that now. That's great to see. I was a bit disappointed to see that the system update previously was limited to July 2023. This brings us up to date almost by just off a month and a half from Google's latest security patch, if this contains that. But as I can see, there's no mention of it. It's just saying that the update will take a few minutes. Anyway, whilst this is going on in the background, let's see if the Google Play Store updates are processing. Yes, they are. As you can see, this is not a very fast process. It will take a while, but it seems to be functional. You need to be a little bit more patient. Okay then, as this update carries on, I will sign off on this video. It wasn't a great experience. The UMIDIGI G5A was a bit broken there in its software setup. Once it's up to date and going through its paces, we'll be doing videos on how to expand the UMIDIGI G5A with a micro SD card, expand your storage for storing pictures, videos, music, and any other media you would like to have on your device. We'll do the usual videos on how to switch roaming on and off, set up your APNs if that's necessary to access the internet, and any other videos that you leave us a comment in the section below about how we should handle the G5A. And then we'll obviously be wrapping that up with our long-term review. So make sure you're subscribed to the Tech Travel Geeks if you'd like to see this content, and if you like this video, drop us a like, and for now, thanks for watching and goodbye from me.